All right, welcome to the first episode of Break and Run Show with myself, John Cooper. And today I have with me 10 times World Artistic Pool Champion, 7-time Guinness World Record holder, 2-time winner of the World Cup of Trickshots. He's also the most viewed trickshot artist on YouTube and social media. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Florian Kohler, aka Venom. How you doing, mate?
Hey, I'm doing good, but you messed up my titles, man. I'm already
Oh
11
no, what
times
did I
Guinness
do?
World Record now.
What did I get wrong?
No, I just got another 5 last week.
Oh,
Couldn't
did
know.
you? What,
Yeah, I
5
did
Guinness World
actually.
Records?
Yeah, 5 extra ones. Yeah. Well, one that
Oh,
was already made and 4 new ones. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
well, let's start off with that because I took that from your Instagram. So I'm going to blame you on that one.
Yeah, no, I know I haven't updated the whole thing. I had to mess with you a little bit. So
Let's start with that then. Well, firstly, for people that don't know, Venom is the trick shot artist, guru online, absolute badass. I actually first saw you, Florian. I think you're about 13 or something. And it was in the early days of YouTube. I saw a video of you, and it looked
it
quite
wasn't that
murky.
young, but yeah, I was 18. Yeah.
I was 18. Okay, you look quite young. But that's actually that was when I first saw you when you were that young. So I was kind of been onto you for quite a while.
That's pretty cool. There's not a lot of you guys left that actually were watching the very first few things, you know what I mean? Because I've actually, there's the good news is there is no fake thing, right? From my career, it's all there from the video number 1 to like whatever it is now. So you can really see the whole evolution, which is actually pretty cool because history is built in available, right? So
Is that still actually available? Like, is that video still
I
online?
am.
Is
Oh,
it?
you can find number 1. You can make fun of me all
Can
you
we
want.
find the number one now? Can we get it? Is it like?
Good luck. You're gonna run through a bunch of, but yeah, go on my YouTube channel and good luck finding it. You're probably gonna have to scroll down through like a million videos, but I don't know.
Oh,
It's got
really?
to be thousands of them.
There's thousands on your YouTube. Okay, maybe we'll just do that in the post production. So we'll flash this up now for people wanting to look at that. But okay, let's talk about the Guinness World Records. So, but for people that don't know, when I was looking at this, you had 5, right? You had the most balls potted in the middle pocket over an obstacle in 1 minute. 15 billiard balls, fastest time in the middle. Then you did it one-handed. Then it was the highest jump shot of a pool ball straight into the pocket, which I'm not sure if you still hold that or not. Or maybe you're going to tell me that you did.
Unfortunately.
And then the most pool trick shots in an hour. So those were the 5. So what's happened since then?
Well, I think there is a bunch. One of them was a stupid attempt, but it's just sometimes you got to do stuff to, as far as the corporate stuff goes. So one of them is the longest queue. So running around is the longest queue. Funny story on that, actually.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just making the queue and just make one ball. And whenever the Guinness arrived and they wanted to do the thing, and they're like, no, you got to run the full rack with it. I'm like, dude, the queue doesn't fit in the pool room. Like it was slow
Really?
enough. So the whole thing is bending. It's literally, bending over its weight. And I was supposed to make the whole balls. Hopefully I didn't have to do a break and run, but I had to run the balls, like stripes, solids, whatever. So that was crazy.
So you actually did a run out with this cue.
I had to make the balls in a row. Yeah. That was very interesting. It was like how long the queue is. I can't remember. It's on the Guinness website, but I think it's something ridiculous, like 7 foot long or something like that. I don't remember.
So those 5, and you said you added another 5. So that was another one, the queue.
Yeah, I think that one was missed. So what else do I have? So I have the longest spin of a cue ball. So moved that one from 20. Well, I had it 3 times already. So I first started, we had 23 seconds.
Yeah.
Then I went up to 20. Well, actually, hold on. It's behind me.
Yeah.
27.28 seconds.
Right.
And then last week, I just obliterated it to 42 seconds, 20, something like that.
What? How's that possible?
Yeah. Practice. I probably hit that shot like 1,000 times the week before. And I started to understand how it works. And I had so I had a table that I kept in perfect condition just for it, brand new felt. Covered it, for like a week. Nobody's touched it. Had a brand new set of balls, literally off the plastic. Put it out of the thing. Brand new shaft, and there you go.
Okay.
So that's one of those. Then we had the highest jumps one-handed.
Oh, one-handed.
Yeah. So the thing is, that record is going pretty insane actually. The highest jump record, and it started kind of low, maybe like this much, right? Hold on, this way here, And then we went up to, I mean, double the side, double the distance. Because I mean, the first time you just jump it, the ball bounced, went in the pocket,
Yeah.
easy peasy, right? And went a little higher, and then you realize when the ball bounces, if you bounce more than once, you got to have the bounce in the perfect spot. That bounces goes straight in the pocket, right? And the higher you go, there's no more bounce available. It will bounce and then goes off table, so you have to go straight into the pocket. And now the shot becomes extremely difficult. And yeah, it just kept going up and up and up and up. And then, but the last time the kids bit mine, unfortunately, I destroyed my cue. So because you need a special cue, there's no going around it. It's just a carbon fiber cue. Basically, you just got to smash as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And so this is the first problem. My cue is totally broken. There's nothing left of it. And second, it destroys the table. Now,
Does it? Yeah.
Like I destroy table for a living. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
This is stupid. So it's like you'll go through the entire felt and it's like no felt left. It's just straight to the slate. And the last time my cue guy, my repair guy was the trying to change the felt on the table, I realized that we got to kind of stop there because it's going into the slate and it's getting like grooved into the slate. So I don't want to do it for a little while.
Hang on, is that the ball going? You mean you're smashing the ball into it, or you're actually smashing the cue through the
cue is
cloth?
going straight through, and it's going so much through that it just cuts the felt because it's going at a 90 degrees angle with phenolic tip.
Oh yeah.
You will just cut it. There's no way. And the way you hit it is so hard that it'll cut it, and then you try another attempt to cut it. And because it's such a hard shot, you're gonna have to try it, probably 100 times in practice, maybe more.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a really difficult shot. Right now it's safe, but I'll give you a little in thing. This is what we're working on next. So this is a full meter, basically.
Oh, hold it to the camera. Could you just hold it a little bit in front of your face?
See it,
right.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
So we're going for full meter next.
Wow. So what's the current record? What's the current world record right now?
I don't even know. Mine was 75. I think it got beat by like a couple centimeters, very little. So I know it's definitely beatable, but I'm gonna try to smash it to a fair mark. The problem is I really need a cue, and so right now we're working with Q-Tech to get a new prototype jump cue to just for that single record. So no rush though.
A special custom-made cue. So it's basically you need a break cue, like a jump cue, to do it. You can't do any other cue.
You need something that's interesting. You need something very light, but it needs to be the length of the jump cue, obviously, to make it legal. Because if you go shorter, it won't work. Yeah. It needs to be extra solid because you're going full vertical. Yeah. And you're just smashing it. So think about having a hammer, just hammering something for like 1,000 times. Yeah. And that's what you do to the cue. So if it's not solid, it'll break in 5 attempts. There's no point. Yeah. So the solidity is the hard part. So I'm guessing this isn't something you should try in your club because you probably get your membership. Don't ever attempt that. No, you guys can try the spin record. You can try a few others, but this one I would highly not recommend. Yeah. I actually don't recommend doing the spin challenge in my club because the cloths are like sand pits. But apart from that, well, it's funny. So you have sand pits. I have a sand trap on my field. That's what I call it. Oh right, yeah. But I was going to say, so the other trick shots, so the other Guinness World Records. Did we say the other ones? You said no, I don't think so. So the other one, one of the cool one is the longest jump shot.
What's going on, guys? I'm Florian Venom Kohler, and today we are here at Putters in Las Vegas for another world record. You tell us exactly the details.
The record is for the farthest distance jump putt of a pool ball between two tables. And right now, the record is 2 meters.
It's actually quite a big distance, so let's see what I can do. Come on.
That actually looked huge when you saw it from like the wide angle. That was a much it doesn't look that big, right, from from the standard angle. But when you start going distance-wise, you're like, yeah, that was one of the only locations that we had available with that much space between tables. Yeah. My original idea was to have 2 tables in the parking lot, literally, and put them there and start moving them out. Yeah. But unfortunately, we didn't really get the authorization for it. So I ended up finding the pool room that we have that has the furthest distance between tables, and that worked good. So they're actually set up pretty much the same way. So yeah. Do you know? I don't know how. Do you think that record can be beaten by a lot? Because it feels to me as though like it's only going to be like increased by like millimeters from that. I think I have the 3 meters in me. I don't know You'll take a little practice though to get the precision.
Yeah.
Now, it's also on 7-foot bar box, so the slate's a little thinner. So
Right.
if you had a 9-foot table with like a fixed slate, you get a little extra jump as well. So,
Yeah.
but it starts to be a little complicated after that, obviously, because well, shit, you got to move 2 9-foot tables, and
Yeah.
then if they're not perfectly set up and you can't do it, then you got to move them back. So yeah, it's not so easy. It takes a little more, I'd say, logistics, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And with the cue for that one, is that you need a similar type of cue as the one that you do the high jump?
No, that's just a standard cue, actually, a standard
Really?
jump cue. You can
Okay.
probably do with anything. Yeah. I don't think it's really a big deal. Now I do use my Q-Tech cue, obviously, because I'm sponsored with them right now. And it's a great cue. It's absolutely a great cue, possibly one of the best jump cue. But I think it's just more the skill. It's more the way you shoot that ball. So.
Is that something that anyone can do, do you think? Or do you think does that take a lot of knack to pull
No,
like a long
actually,
distance?
you'll see when we release the full video. Actually, we had a bunch of the guys try. They were there, and we had a couple. One of the best player we have in Vegas actually try, and he couldn't even go halfway. So,
Okay.
but there's the method to the madness, and it's the air bridge, as we call, and so you got to have the air bridge and try to put as much power into it, but also actually aim for it, which is a little tricky because not everybody that can be able to do that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I didn't even notice you did the air bridge there, but I'm guessing that's what you like. You mean hovering the bridge hand, yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
because if you do a standard bridge, you just don't have the power through it. It's just a lack of power, so
Gotcha.
which is weird. You'd think you have more power, but actually you have less.
Good to know. Good to know. I might have to try some of these things in my club later. All right, and then was there any more?
Don't start beating them all already. So
Yeah, I know. I'll use the one in the corner so I don't notice. Was there any other the Guinness World Records there that we missed?
what else did we do that week? We did. That was interesting. We did the most mass in a minute.
Okay.
The previous mark, I don't know who owned it, but it was 17, and that was actually quite tough to beat. I only got 21, and I was thinking I'm gonna obliterate a massive record, but actually difficult. So ended up being 21.
And what do you mean
Still made it
21?
regardless, and then we had.
Florian, just pause there. You just glitched a little bit. Can I get you to say that again? Can you say it again? But can you explain what 17 is in reference to?
So basically, you set up a triangle near the corner, and you got to mass the cue ball around the triangle, right? So same what we're doing in normal trick shots. You got to not touch the rock on the right side, whatever if it's set up there. Then on the way it comes back, of course, cue ball can touch the rock, goes in the pocket. So the previous record, not sure who owned it. It wasn't in there, but it was 17 balls around the triangle in a minute. Right. And so I did 21. I thought I was going to do a lot better, but actually it is very difficult because mass is kind of hard. You got to be precise. And the one thing we never think about is when you're doing jump shots, you don't really need to chalk. Massey, you actually do. So it was a very interesting thing to try to find the chalk and put it on and lose like 5 seconds doing that. And then you can only do maybe 10 shots or whatever, and that's using Kamui chalk. That's really much superior to anything else. But it's there, and it's a cool little record. So that was for the Massey, and then the last two we did was the most jumps over an obstacle in a minute one-handed, which was pretty challenging as well. I think it ended up being 42 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, funny story, the first time they had these records, they had us in Italy, and I guess Shouting Pan owned it in China first for like, the two-hand record, and that was like, I don't know, 27 balls or something really low. Right. So I went to Italy, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna destroy that record. Yeah. Going there, I see there's another trick shot guy, Stefano Pelinga. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I'm like, what? Then nobody ever told me there was going to be a competition between the two of us. I thought it was just me going to beat it. So I didn't really practice that hard. I'm like, damn, I'm going to have a hard time beating this guy because obviously, he knows what he's doing. So he starts first. He beats it. He's like 35, whatever. And then I go there, and I think I clear like 65. I basically doubled up on his record, and I just destroyed everybody. So from there, it's actually Guinness started. They really liked the performance, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have more of this guy, I suppose. And but the same record basically now was pushed to one hand, and so yeah, it was 40 plus one-handed. I basically beat already the second closest that was doing it with two hands, just using one hand. So that's kind of cool.
God, wow! Because your record with two hands is 75, I think.
75,
Yeah, your records. I was
Yeah,
watching that
that's
earlier.
that's very tricky to beat. I think it's possible,
Yeah,
but you're gonna have to be making it perfect.
yeah,
And on those, honestly, I mean, there's so much setup going into it. You got two tries, and you kind of call it done because first off, when you have the judge, they only give you two tries anyway. And so when you do it every legit attempt, really, except if it's like a special shot or whatever, that's all they're gonna give you. So TV, whatever it is, it's two tries. So
really? They only give you
obviously,
two
if you're in the
goes?
house and you're by yourself. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's why the spin records were so low at the beginning because you miskey on the first one, whatever. You better make it the second time to get something score in. So yeah.
Is that right? So, how does it work with the Guinness World Records? Like, they have to be in the room whilst you do it, right?
Well, most of them have always had somebody in the room with them,
Yeah.
and then if they are not there, they basically got to sort of approve of somebody.
Okay.
And so we had a guy for last week because it was between COVID and everything in the last minute request. So we had a guy that was a referee for Mosconica and stuff like that, the scorekeeper. Obviously, somebody official that they have to approve and vet and make sure he's got sort of a resume that he knows what he's doing. So in this case, it's a little easier. Won't lie to you, because they're not as far as you got to make it in like two tries. But to be honest with you, most of the time that's kind of what happens anyway.
Yeah. You tend to nail
you
it.
have to practice.
Yeah.
You have to practice beforehand. So I mean, except that long jump record, for example, which was like 5 tries or something like this, and that was accepted. You know what I mean? They know it's hard enough. So
Yeah, fair enough. No, good stuff.
and I
Any
think
other
the final one?
Final one.
The final one actually was the most trick shot in an hour.
Yes. Yeah.
So, story on this one is during COVID last year, I was bored, so decided to attempt one, and that was the most trick shot in 24 hours. That was a lot of fun, to be honest with you. So we think we cleared 753 trick shot. That's 24 hours. I was broken, but that was fun. Though.
So
It
you
was very
24
fun.
hours solid, straight 24 hours just
Yeah, just by
shots.
myself. Yeah. And you'd think, you would have somebody helping you set up the bowls and stuff, but unfortunately, it is a full one-man show, so you have to set the bowls and follow a program of trick shots. So I can't just do a spin shot for like every,
Yeah.
So because otherwise that would be too easy. So we have to go through the entire WPA artistic pool program basically,
Yeah.
which has got like 8 disciplines and like what is it? I think it's 3 options for 5 shots. So yeah, so I think it's 15 shots per discipline that you have to go through in order, and then once you finish, you come back at it, right? So for the 1 hour, they didn't bother. There's like, you got to do the same thing. So obviously, and there's different disciplines, right? So you start discipline 1 to 8, and unfortunately, the jump and the masses are discipline 7 and 8. So whatever I got to do all the other stuff first. And so the very first discipline is all what we call the setup shots. You know what I mean? Just showing off shot, the 4 balls in one, which takes you the longest to set up, right? So so I did 58. Well, actually, we calculated 60, and I was like, man, this is awesome. It's 1 minute. And then the Guinness came back. It's like, no, it's 58. It's like, oh, come on. And I think I know why. I think one of the shots I set it up was one extra ball, actually, like an idiot.
Yeah.
And another one, I don't know. It's just deemed probably not legit, so I'm not sure. But it's not bad. I was sweating. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm telling you, because setting up all the shots and making them, and obviously you got 3 tries at it, and you can't skip them either. So you have a shot you don't like, you can't say I'll skip. You just got to go through it and try to make it anyway.
You have to complete every shot.
You have to attempt every shot, every attempt for every shot. Yes.
And if you don't get it, then what happens?
You can miss it.
Oh, you can miss it.
3 tries, you can miss it, and that's it.
Right, and then you just pass. You move on.
But, yeah, so I have a couple. I won't lie to you. It was a couple of missed on purpose, but
yeah, I was going to say. I mean, how avant-garde did you go with that? I mean, like, what was the most flamboyant trick shot out of in the 24 hours that you pulled off?
I mean, they're all the programs, so none of them are really impossible.
Yeah.
I have a few that I'm pretty happy that I pulled off that I don't pull in tournament necessarily. The only thing I missed in the 24 hours, I think I had 2 shots that I never made the entire night, which kind of sucked. I was hoping I'd make all of them in one shot because it's 120 shots. So, and I think I made like 118 total out of all of them. But then I made several, a bunch of times that I never missed. A bunch of them I never missed at all. So.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I think that record's probably going to stand for a long time. I can't. What do you reckon?
Actually, if anybody's going to go for it, it's going to be me because I love those things.
Yeah.
Those 24 hours are really cool, and I know again, it's funny enough, when it's like a new records like that didn't exist before,
Yeah.
which the one didn't exist. So I set the mark. So I built myself a margin of error,
Yeah.
and so the very first hour, because it was live on YouTube, we explained every shot.
Right.
So I spent probably an extra hour explaining shots. So I know if I do the same performance as far as making as many shots percentage-wise, then I can easily clear, probably another 20 shots.
Yeah.
So, but that's just doesn't mean I'll have the same performance overall, because I think the percentage success was insane. It was like 70% success on every shot. So, which is pretty amazing actually.
Oh, on the first try, about 70%.
No, 70% of the shots made out of the attempts ever tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Still. Yeah.
So the way we work on the percentage is, you have one shot,
Mm.
and if you make it 7 times out of 10, 70%, doesn't matter how many attempts you had, how many goes, you've got 3 tries only maximum. So.
I don't know whether there's actually a fastest 9-ball break and run, but I thought I want to try and set a record anyway. I'm sure it's been done. My mate Dan Lim reckons he's done it in 29 seconds. So this is the best one of the night. It helps that I got 3 balls in off the break here.
Well, I was gonna say you definitely need a bunch of balls right away.
Yeah,
the layout is pretty
absolutely.
peachy, yeah.
I could have stunned that and played the long shot into the corner, but I just wanted to make sure I potted all these. And even here, when I look back, I think I could have played this with a bit of bit of follow.
Softer to,
yeah. But so I'm wasting a bit of time here with this shot.
The 3 rail also.
Yeah, and so that sort of ate up a lot of time.
Yeah, that was pretty nice here, though.
Yeah, so that was and that was like as soon as it left, the ball went under the pocket. So that's when I did the cut point.
It's actually pretty impressive because, well, I don't know if you're familiar with Dave Pearson, who is all the speed pool record.
All right.
And he's got some monsters 1 in 8 ball. Like they're all available on the Guinness website too. They're sick. Like I mean, it's I think I can't remember what's the fastest to break in. So I think the speed pool 8 ball. I think you have to make all 15 balls in order.
Yeah.
Well, not in order. I mean, randomly, no stripe, no solids.
Yeah.
But I think he's got like a 25 seconds or something like that for all 15 balls. It's nuts.
Do you know what I looked at? I looked at.
It's not easy.
That's the thing. I was actually looking online. I couldn't actually see any like fastest ever 9-ball break and runs. I couldn't see any.
I don't think it's ever been done because I mean, obviously, the thing is, again, if you're going into a TV show live or whatever, imagine you'd have to have a perfect layout, which is very hard to get. So that could be very difficult. We all know how 9-ball is, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming if you're doing that, you got to attempt it a million times first to get the perfect break first. So
yeah.
And obviously you could probably pattern rack it too, but it seems complicated anyway. I mean, 30 seconds, I didn't think it was possible for a 9-ball break. I thought it was always going to be like over 45. So
yeah.
You said somebody beat that?
Sorry?
You said somebody has faster
No,
than you,
well, my
35?
friend Dan Lim, shout out Dan at Raging Bull, St Albans, but he says he's done it in 30 seconds, but it wasn't filmed. So it's quite anecdotal. I mean, I
suppose if you make 4 or 5 balls on the break, which
he only made 1 ball. He only made 1 ball off the break, and he did it in 30 seconds. That's what he says anyway.
That seems insane.
Yeah, exactly.
I think your 35 is going to be very hard to beat personally.
So I just want to say I'm calling out Carl Boise. I'm calling you out. I want you to see if you can beat that, and Sharavari as well, because I know you like your speed pool challenges. So and you Venom, if you want to try that as well, I'd be interested to see what you can do.
I don't know if I got any interest of getting lucky. That's my problem. I hate when you got to get lucky because you got to get lucky on the break. And it's if you don't get the position, I mean it's brutal, right?
Yeah. I mean, I did another one. I got 2 balls off the break. I got 41 seconds, but I think for every ball, it's like 5 seconds extra, basically. So
well, and depending where they are too. So if they're spaced out, the 1 is bottom and the 2, then you're kind of screwed. So they will need to be like almost perfectly, one zone to another. So
yeah,
I mean, I think if you pattern rack, I mean, obviously you could get away with some stuff here, but that seems insane. Actually, 35 seconds. I'm not looking forward to try it.
but so if anyone wants to try that as well out there, please, try that and tag me and I nearly called you Julian there, Florian, and
they should do a little Mosconica challenge for them, for those guys out there. See how this is hard. Actually, I'm telling you.
That's actually pretty tricky, actually, trying to do that in a quick time, especially when you're trying to rush it as well. Like I've bodged quite a few good ones as well, just because I'm trying to speed up. So you've also got and I've noticed you do that as well. Like when you're doing the one-handed jump shots, there's a temptation to go quickly, but I can see that you're dialing in for each one and just taking that extra microsecond just to like position the cue, you know?
Yeah, the extra time is important. It's weird. It's a weird thing. There's like everybody's got a threshold of margin of error, right? And how much you can really go faster or slower. And it's funny because the speed jump shot that I do, it shows, some days I'll just not miss it. I'll go like real quick, and some days I just can't. I'm trying to go too fast, whatever, and it just doesn't work. And I miscue. Then it just doesn't work. So, but yeah.
Florian, you mentioned the Mosconi Cup. Let's talk a little bit about that. So, I just want to know, like, has there ever been any sort of impressive Mosconi moments, like in terms of trick shots or like something that's very flamboyant that you've seen?
The funny thing is, I think for pool, if they have trick shots, usually that means something is not right. So
yeah, exactly.
They probably don't play the right game. So I think for pool in general, it's not supposed to be impressive at all. But I don't, we had a bunch of cool shots last year, I believe. They were pretty cool, but not, nothing that really stuck, I think, out there. And I don't think you're anytime soon going to see a crazy mass or anything like that. And those guys are so good with jump cues now that, it kind of became a normal shot as well. It's become a part of the game rather than being an impressive shot. And, if the ball is like a foot away from the pocket, you're kind of expecting them to jump in and make it anyway.
Exactly.
If it's a long distance, that's a different story. But yeah.
What about the? Did you ever see the Nick Vandenberg trick shot with the rest?
The jump rest?
Yeah, the jump rest. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, I've seen this one. I think this is actually a very useful thing. I tell you what, there's another shot that I've never seen that I do all the time in a real match. Is so especially on a 9-foot table, when you push out, actually as a trick shot guy, you can usually suffer jump shots in the middle of the table for a one-handed jump shot. Works every single time for me. I love that. Yeah.
Is that your? That's your little trick.
Secret weapon. Yeah. I'll pull that to a few people, and they're like, "Oh, take it. You can't reach, And I was like, "Huh, there you go."
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. See, trick shots do work in games, ladies and gentlemen. They do.
Very, very rarely, but there's a few.
Just going back to the Mosconi Cup, Earl Strickland's obviously playing this year. He likes the odd trick shot as well, actually.
I won't talk to you. Obviously, the guy's a legend. So, I don't necessarily. It's hard to say because we haven't seen a lot of tournaments the last couple of years. So maybe we missed him, and maybe he is actually playing great pool again. So it's hard to say, but it feels a little weird that that America doesn't bring somebody younger. But sometimes I'm not I'm not the best, and to be fair, I kind of understand the matchroom point of view as far as making views. So, I mean, it's still a business. So, early is going to draw a crowd. And, I mean, we both know we would watch just because of that. So, he's capable of everything. So,
his he likes doing some exhibition stuff with like the wing shots, like the moving ball.
Yeah. Earl is actually really good with wing shots. And funny enough, I think Earl and Mike Massey used to work together for a little bit in the 90s to do exhibitions like that. So Earl was doing challenge matches or whatever, and Mike was doing some of the trick shots, and then they had a little a double show, I think, at the end. And so I think Earl actually learned a lot from Mike. And so Earl's shots, the wing shots, really impressive. And then he's got that, I think he's making that 14-ball setup shot, which is super, super sick as well.
What's that one? 14 balls all in the pocket at the same time.
It's actually not easy to set up because you got to know. I mean, I don't like setup shots personally. I mean, I'll do a few, I'll know them, and I've done the 14 balls, but I don't like it. And especially now with the diamond tables and everything's smaller, the shots become almost impossible. But if you find an older table with big pockets, that shot is absolutely sick. So.
Yeah, because you have to. I've never done those types of shots, but you have to sort of like almost like banging an egg. Like you have to crack at each ball on the table.
Well, so realistically, what we do is called tapping. Yeah. So you'll have to test every segment of the shots and combine them all together. And in order for you to remember where the position are, you got to put a little divot in the felt, right? So it's just a little divot, but when you tap the ball, it creates a little something. Make sure the balls are frozen because if there's a gap, then the shot is no good. It's got to follow the tensions perfectly. So.
Yeah, it's got to be perfection, hasn't it? Absolutely. Yeah. And I was going to say,
the problem I have with those shots is slow. I mean, if you do a show, it's very slow, and you better have something interesting to say because then you miss it, you got to do it again. So, I never really took an interest in those. Really.
Yeah, you like the dynamic stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have you done any sort of things interesting with like wing shots? Maybe we could flash up like.
I have a few. I think I've done a little bit of everything. Not my
Yeah.
favorite thing in the world, but
Yeah.
they work. I'm more, like, you ask me for stroke shots and like big
Mm.
stuff like that. I'm more happy with that.
Yeah.
The wing shots, what I don't like about it is I don't have control on it. So
Mm.
you could practice 5 million times, you'll get close, but you'll never be 100% on it, right? So it's just the speed. But you can do a one wing shot, you can do the double wing shot, the
Mm.
triple wing shot, the reverse wing shot when you scratch on purpose and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool stuff.
I mean, I did another one, another variation of that. This was actually. Can you flash this one up, Jake? The no look. Yeah.
I love no look shots. Yeah.
Yeah, one had. I mean, this doesn't look that impressive, by the way. But actually, I just actually say this has got to be one of my hardest ever things. So I did the same thing without looking. It doesn't look, but when you're actually turning your head, you're
Yeah.
literally
No, this
hitting
is
into
hard. Yeah, yeah.
into no
Yeah.
man's land here. I mean, obviously the
Oh,
ball's
what
not
were you
moving.
doing a roll
Not
too?
that doesn't look that impressive, but that was really difficult.
Oh no, it does. Well, I mean, I think it does personally, but then again, maybe it's because
Yeah.
I'm part of the thing. But yeah, those no looks are not easy. So you gotta
Yeah.
be, especially when it's moving. That's it's like
Yeah.
finding a blind squirrel finding a nut, right? Is it what they say?
Absolutely.
Stuff
You're,
like that.
you're just shooting out to the window into the night on that one, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What about no look stuff for you? I was going to ask you what have been your most, the shots that you've liked the most, or you've thought to yourself, wow, that's impressive. Like even to yourself, that you've impressed yourself.
Well, I mean, I love my master. I'm a very
Yeah.
simple guy. It's a good stroke shot, a good master. I'll be very happy.
Yeah.
But recently, the one thing I liked was, so I don't know if you remember, there was this little Jason Shaw thing on social media when he goes and pot a ball exactly. So you go in position, aim for the ball, then move the cue out of the way, move your head,
yeah.
come back, eyes
Yeah.
closed, put the ball, makes it right.
Yeah.
And everybody was like raving about it. It was like amazing, and I thought it was really super cool too. I'm
Yeah.
thinking this gotta be super difficult. And then I start, I'm like, man, this is actually pretty easy. Your brain remembers and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I did an entire video like that. And they ended up being pretty cool, actually. I don't know if it got a lot of views, but I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was a completely
Yeah.
different experience.
Yeah.
What did I do recently that was pretty cool too? Position trick shots.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting too, like very precise position. And again, I think this is also from you English guys are all over the place. There was another English guy, I think, that came up with that too. What's his name? He's doing trick shots on a Chinese pool table.
On an English table or a Chinese?
Yeah, no, a Chinese pool. I
Oh,
think.
Chinese pool.
Yeah, I can't remember. He didn't do a lot, but he did a couple videos back then, and they were kind of like this, and people liked it too. So I thought, oh, I'll try and give it a try as well, and that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. But end of the day, me, whatever makes me happy is like, give me like a 5 real stupid mass day that I'll
Yeah.
just gotta smash the table. I love it. I'm not sure everywhere,
Oh.
but I would say if you have a video, Venom trick shot dark magic or something like that, this
Yeah.
is probably the most advanced shots we've ever done. Didn't
Okay.
get a ton of view, but that's my favorite video out of probably the last 5 years.
But those are like your favorite, what you think are the most
Yeah, those
venomous.
Well, yeah, my personal opinion. Sometimes it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, though. People don't necessarily think the same thing about everything else. So yeah.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, all your stuff's pretty badass. It's hard to find the most badass thing, I think.
It's so many years already, compilations. So everything's got a different flavor to it. But
Yeah.
what's funny? I mean, nowadays, at least I think, maybe I'm getting old, but
Yeah.
I see all those kids posting those TikTok things and whatever, and I'm like, man, this is stuff I was doing 10 years ago plus. That was my easy
Yeah.
stuff, and people like loving it and raving about it. I'm like, dude, like. And then
Yeah.
the next thing that really pissed me off more is those fake trick shots. I cannot stand this because it took
Which
me
ones?
10 years to prove people.
Yeah.
Like those again, this TikTok style,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
Chinese guys usual, and it's
Yeah.
obviously either video tricked or table trick. But
Yeah.
that pissed me off because people are like, oh, can you do that? It's like, no, this is all fake. And it took me like 10, 15 years
Yeah.
to get people to understand my stuff was not fake, and it was never fake. We've never once
Mm.
had a fake anything in the video. Like the
Yeah.
shots have always been done properly, So
Yeah.
and yeah, this kind of pissed me off because he goes kind of backward, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. But I guess it is what it is, right? So
I'm a bit worried about that as well. Like the future of like kind of TikToking and stuff. It's going to kind of kill the buzz of actual genuine trick shots because I guess they can just CGI stuff.
yeah, and I think it's dumb because I mean, it was a hard. granted, I started when it was the beginning of the trick shots and stuff, and
Mm.
we really didn't have the ability technically anyway to fake anything. I mean, it's not like
Mm.
you had the money to put a Star Wars special effect on a trick shot video. So,
Mm.
but one of the thing was simply to have one angle that encompassed the whole shot. If you have one angle, people never doubted you, right? So it's always been there. And then of course you can have close-ups and whatever, redo the shots later on.
Mm.
But as long as you had that one angle that showed the shot was legit, you're good.
Mm.
But now it's like, yeah, you must have seen that shot when the cue ball spins and it hits the rail and the ball just kind of,
Yeah.
jumps back.
Yeah.
And people are tagging me like by the
Oh.
hundreds. I'm being tagged by the hundreds. I'm like, guys, how do you not? You're
Come on, you
a
must
good
be a pool
player. How do
player.
you not know it's fake? Like you
Yeah.
think it comes from the, it's obviously fake, right? And it's obviously
Yeah.
video fake. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of,
Mm.
it's kind of too bad because that takes
Yeah.
no skill. And regarding if I come up with a brand new shot that took me, possibly a week to come up with or whatever,
Yeah.
and then get no view, kind of annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is really annoying. And that shot you're talking about, you can actually see where the cue ball makes contact with the eight ball. It actually doesn't hit the 8 ball at all. Like you can see it's just superimposed the 8 ball because it just knocks the object ball in the pocket, and like it's almost as if the 8 ball doesn't react at all. Like, yeah, it's just ridiculous.
The next one that sends me a question about it, I'm gonna kill him. So
Yeah, there you go. Don't ask us anymore. So we'll flash that up as well for people. I was going to ask you, so the way that I get into the creative process is like, to come up with a new shot, I'll sometimes just like bang the ball around the table and just see where the cue ball reacts. And then I'll position some balls to see if I can turn it into a shot, How does it work for you? Like, what's your creative process when you sort of like, I know you posted up one where you said, you said, is this cheesy, guys, or is this like a good shot? Because I'm just like goofing around at the moment. And you bounce the triangle over your head or over the cue. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a few like that. They're never been released even because I just never, make my cuts. But no, for me, it's a little different. I mean, I used to, at least back then. Now it's a little different. I'm busy, it's the business aspect of everything. It's like, it's a completely different process. But before it used to be just, breathing, living, sleeping pool all the time, right? It was just practicing like 8 hours a day. And I was literally sleeping and I had ideas and I just put them in the book and I wake up in the morning and I'll be trying them, right? And then I still have books and I put shots in there. It's just, I just don't have time to think about it the same way. I was looking at everything, every pool video, every carom video, every golf trick shot, every basketball trick shot, every skateboard trick shot. I mean, it was stupid. Just I put an idea down and usually you put it on a little diagram, whatever. And then when I get practice time, I go look at my books, pick a shot, see if it works. If it works, great. Sometimes they work in 2 minutes, done, one shot, new shots. And then sometimes they don't work. Then you try to move stuff around and then sometimes you get something out of it. And most of the time, you get nothing out of it. But, the other option is actually you try to get a new shots. You already have, a bunch of classics and then you try to add a twist to it. Now, granted, I've done that to a lot of shots already, but I mean, we went from the just showing up, for example, when you do 3-rail after, then you add a jump shot, then you add an extra row of balls, then you add a masse into it. I mean, you just, that's when you have no inspiration, really. It's just take a classic and twist it.
Yeah, but that's fine as well. It's like taking a good cocktail and just making it your own slightly.
Yeah, pretty much. The only problem is sometimes it becomes a little stupid. Sometimes, the best classic shot is kind of hard to beat. And then I still think my favorite thing, and I still do that once in a while, and I'll look at a 3-cushion match. And I absolutely love looking at 3-cushion. I love to play. I'm not that great at it. I'm decent, but I'm never going to be a pro at it. But it's a beautiful game, and because the balls are bigger, the slate is thicker, and tables are heated, they're able to get a lot more spin into their balls.
Yeah.
And usually you're able to see something crazy out of it. I saw one yesterday that I'm going to try on a pool table that looks sick. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's an insane time shot that, never seen before. It makes total sense, actually. So.
Yeah, because you like your I don't really know about that game, by the way. Like, what is it called, carom or three ball?
Well, it's actually called 3-cushion billiards. If you're really into the one that the free game is just like English billiards a little bit, right? So you just hit by contact or cannon, whatever you want to call it there. Yeah. But 3-cushion is you gotta hit. You have your own cue ball, which is the white or the yellow. Make 3-rail and then hit a carom with the other 2 balls, the red and the other one. So I would say this is probably the hardest game in the world. And I know I'm taking a big risk here, English people in front of me, but I think it's harder than snooker.
Wow, you think that? Wow.
100%. And I've played all the games in the world, I think, at this point, except no, actually, I've played Russian Pyramid, which is kind of crazy too. But yeah, snooker, I was able to get a break of 60, 70, you know, in no time, which is weird, you know, for somebody who's never played. I played
That's
like
good.
a week in Australia because I really liked it. It was fun. It's different, right? And I think I had a 65 break, I think, after, you know, playing a couple days. I'm like, man, this is not that hard 'cause it's a lot more predictable than you think. Three cushion, however, there is no prediction because it's just so random. And you need everything. You need precision. The table is big, so it's 10-foot table. You need to aim. You need the knowledge, and then there's stuff that it makes like it doesn't make sense as a pocket billiard player, like safety play. Whatever. How do you safety play on 3 open balls on a table that's got no pockets? You know what I mean? So all that together, and you need a stroke, and you need the creativity. I think it's really the hardest game in the world as far as cue sport goes.
We don't have them here, really. I mean, you probably might find them in some kind of specialized billiard places, but they're not. It's not really a thing here, you know. It's not really.
Well, there's hardly any left. I
No.
think you know. Well, in France we have a few clubs, you know, here and there, but I don't know if they even have. I don't even know if they have 4,000 or 5,000 people still playing the game, the entire country, and then you know, in Europe in general. Now in Korea, it's actually a national sport. It's probably the sport number 3 behind baseball, soccer. So it's actually insane.
Wow. It's funny that, isn't it? It's funny how different countries they warm to different types of cue sports and
Very,
stuff.
yeah. Actually, in Seoul itself, I think they have 40,000 billiards club for 3 cushion.
They have what?
40,000 clubs.
Oh,
Pool billiards. Yeah,
do they really?
I've heard so. Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. Yeah.
Do you know what, which countries do you think are the most pool crazy? I mean, I know Philippines has got to be up there, isn't it?
Oh, well, in every cue sport or just pool?
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, either or
Well,
really.
every cue sport, it would be Korea for 3 cushion. It's absolutely nuts. Like it's you know, Sami Saginaw, obviously, right?
I
You
don't
have to. If
actually.
not, you gotta watch.
I need to watch
You gotta
him then.
watch his video. This is one of my biggest inspiration for trick shots.
Yeah.
It's a Turkish guy, and he's done a, I think it's called Sammy's Magic Show, whatever. They redefined my entire game pretty much, and that's what defined the new trick shots industry pretty much. And there's no lie there, and it's still on YouTube, I think.
Okay.
So we had this video in the early 2000s or late 90s when he does a bunch of crazy artistic billiard. So it's called artistic billiard. It's the version of trick shot in the trick cushion table. And that just changed my whole perspective, and that's where I get my own inspiration. But anyway, I did a show with this guy in Korea. Was it back in probably like 7-8 years ago? And we're walking in a mall and whatever, and I got people jumping from one side of the escalator to the other side, take a picture with the guy. It was like he's a superstar. Like I'm serious. Like you're looking at you know, it's like Wayne Rooney in Korea. That was nuts.
Yeah.
You know, couldn't go anywhere. Like restaurant people stopped for. I mean, it was insane, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, how is that a thing? Like, how is this possible that a guy that plays billiard is actually that famous?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a thing out there. So that was as crazy as I saw it. And I mean, then I think this is probably the craziest one. Then I'm assuming Philippines. I mean, Efren is completely massive. I don't think he could go anywhere either. And then I suppose England. I mean, Ronnie and you know. Granted, I haven't seen the guy in a while, but I'm assuming he doesn't, you know, he can't go out anywhere either. Really at this point, so.
I know he goes running, you know, in Essex around his park.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, is he going to go in the city, you know, by himself and stuff, or is he already like to the point he almost needs bodyguards and stuff?
No, I don't think he's quite like that. I think he probably could go out. I mean, I know Jimmy White does exhibitions at the bar in Shoreditch that I go to, but
well, Jimmy is a cool guy, but I mean, I don't know if he's got maybe, you know, I think Ronnie's just still kind of transcended the frontiers a little bit.
Yeah, he has.
I tell you one thing though, I mean, Ronnie in China probably can't go nowhere.
Yeah,
China
I would say China, he'd get
for
mobbed. Yeah,
sure.
he would get mobbed.
Yeah. Because I mean, I get mobbed in China myself, so it's
yeah.
it's
Oh, do
insane.
you? Oh, brilliant.
Oh yeah. China it's been nuts for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a couple of really big shows out there too, as far as, you know, like I don't know if we'd compare to any TV show we have here, but you know, like the Got Talent shows type thing.
Yeah.
And in China, I mean, it's not 10 million watching it; it's 100 million, right? So
Wow.
it's completely different. But
Yeah.
I had a funny, interesting stories in China, and I'm just like at the airport, and I'm here in the restroom taking piss, and that guy just looks at me like this, you know. Staring at me, like, the hell does this guy want? And it's fucking creepy, you know. But yeah, then just wanting an autograph and a picture. I'm like, just right there at the restroom, you know, is the But you know,
Wow.
it is what it is, I guess.
So, what, you were on the Chinese version of China's Got Talent then?
Yeah, a bunch of TV show, really massive ones. I don't really exactly know the names, but yeah.
And you on the
So,
didn't you in the French one as well? No.
I did the French one, I did the German one, I did the Romanian one.
Yeah.
The only one I didn't do is the American one because they refused to pay, and I don't go for free. So
Did you? So what was the deepest you got in the competition? Like in any country?
semi, I think.
Yeah.
Semi. Actually, funny enough, the French one was the worst one. They really laid into me and like
Why?
talked crap and everything. I was like, you know, because it's just TV. You know, TV is fake anyway. They gotta have something. But yeah, Germany. You think Germany was funny actually because you're not supposed to say, but on those shows, most of the time now you get paid for it because they don't need real talents.
Yeah.
Because they can't just have, you know, and they need different acts, right? Season after season. I mean, they've been running for 10 plus years. They can't just have dancer and singers all the time. So they need something different, at least a couple. So at this point, you know, you're actually being paid for it. And in Germany, I think I went to the semi and I was supposed to qualify for the final. And they had the votes. And the guy's like panicking. The producer comes to me. He's like, can you come back next week? Can you come back next week? I'm like, yeah, if you pay me. And and they ended up, I don't exactly know how it worked out, but they ended up basically swaying the judge for telling them to not have me or whatever. And then we just agreed to not do it because they couldn't, you know, they couldn't make it happen. So, but it was funny.
What? So they didn't put you through because they wouldn't pay you.
Yeah,
So
of course. Yeah, it's all fake. I mean, it's TV. You work, you know, you work in the
yeah,
industry,
I know,
you
but that's just
you
I
know,
guess
it's
so.
all fake. So
Yeah, I know it's all faked. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but it's funny you say that. But it's just like I guess it's all fake, isn't it? Yeah. Apart from our
it
trick
really
shots.
is. I mean, you know, apart from what?
Apart from our trick shots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nothing is fake as far as the act goes, but the judging part is all fake, pretty much. I mean, they just gotta pick whoever. I mean, to be fair, they already know who's gonna win when they start the show usually.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of have an idea of the top 3 or top 5 they're gonna get to make money with it, because at the end of the day, it's a business, and whoever wins, you know, they gotta make money with the act. So, you know, for me, pool is a little complicated, and we've had the discussion a few times as far as how do you make it to the next level, right? As far as making it like a Vegas show, for example, and it's not simple because, you know, every smaller room in Vegas, for example, for the shows there, the crowd is down and the scene is up, sort of, right? That's the smaller room. So if you had a pool table in there, that won't work because the people at the bottom, they can't see anything on the pool table. So you need like massive screens or something like that. And if you go into the big room, when the people are like in a, you know, really up and, you know, all the way up, then your pool table is so small that it gets tricky as well again, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, you know, getting a big room with like whatever 400 or 500 people to fill in every night for pool is a very risky move. Nobody's ever done it, so you'd have to find something that goes with it, different acts, and so yeah, it's we've been talked with a few people before, but it's just never panned out budget wise, simply.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, but there's definitely room for this. I want to kind of like. Part of this aim with this channel is to bring the fun back into pool and get more people like trying stuff out, and I want to like bring it to more people and stuff like that. I mean, one of the things I was going to ask you is there any little challenge you can set, let's say me and like my pool buddies, we can do just as a little challenge, and we'll come back to you in like a month, let's say, and we'll see if we can complete it.
I don't know. I mean, there's got to be ways. I mean, there's always a few shots here and there. I think the biggest issue really is to find a shot that works on the maybe an English pool table. I'm assuming you're talking about the UK pool, right?
Oh no, American pool table.
American pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a bunch of flat shots. What I mean flat, I mean no angle, so it doesn't damage the felt, right? No jump, no masse.
Yeah.
That are pretty cool actually. And yeah, like there's a bunch of them. I don't know how difficult it's got to be, but I can find it for.
All right, you're gonna find me one, and then I'll like when we go off air, like you can send me the shot, and I'll attempt that, and that'll be my homework from you.
Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the full professional artistic pool book if you want.
All right, yeah,
so you
cool.
can attempt them. There's 120 shots you're gonna have to figure out.
All right, fair enough. Actually, I think I've someone sent me the PDF of that actually.
They did?
Yeah.
It's to be honest with you, any good trick shot guy should run through it no matter what, even though it looks boring, whatever. It's got actually all the skills that you kind of need as far as the basic skills, in my opinion, in there.
All right, I'm going to work through that. That's going to be my homework then, I think. Can I set you a challenge, Florian? I'm sure you've done this. I'm sure you've done last one, Jake. I'm sure this is bread and butter for you, but would you mind, like, when I did this, I didn't think this was possible. I know it's possible on an English table, but yeah.
Let's see, I guess.
But for some reason, and I tried this one about 500 times, and eventually I got it. And I actually didn't think it was possible, but yeah.
Oh, hell no. Oh
Yeah.
my God, you did that on a pool table?
Yeah, that was an American. I was so chuffed with that because I literally did that every time before I went to play my mates. I would try that shot like 20 times, and I just had to
That is no piece of cake or butter at all.
Because you've
I
got to
didn't even
time
think
it off the
was actually
second.
possible on a pool table. No, that's sick. That's complete. How big is the pockets?
Yeah, they're 4.5s, I think.
Yeah, it's so actually this is one of the shots. The smallest the pocket is, the easier it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as it's an easy shot in English pool because the round corners and the size of the pocket's much smaller. In an American pool size, I mean, obviously the one part of it is easy, meaning the one corner hook thing. To have it double corner on the way back after the full 9 foot long, it's insane. Actually, I've never seen it. I've never seen it done before. It's the first time.
I thought that I didn't think that was been done before. I'd never seen you do it, so I've always been trying that shot.
It's never been done before because nobody was crazy enough to even attempt that. I mean,
Yeah,
how long must it have taken? Like, be
that
honest.
took
How long are we talking about?
No, every time, just before my friend would turn up to play me, I would like have 5-10 minutes just trying that out, and I would do that probably a few weeks, and then when I finally got it, I mean, it's quite difficult. I mean, it's difficult to get it. You'll try that shot, and it won't always go along the cushion, but you'll get it every now and then. Like 1 in 10 will go like quite close to the pocket, but even when it goes close to the pocket, it'll either go in the pocket. And it scratches, or it just hits the jaws and doesn't go across. So when that finally,
actually, what I'm amazed to is that he had enough power to hit the rail back as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of distance, and the American pool rails are not very bouncy. I mean, I don't know how the table is in there, but you definitely got to hit it hard.
You got to smash that.
In fact, for my table, I'm afraid that if I would hit it, I don't think the ball would ever make it to the last corner. My rails are pretty tired, to be fair.
Yeah.
They've been abused a few times, so. But yeah, no, I've never seen it done on pool table. I don't think anybody.
Well, you can try that anyway. That's my challenge to you. But the other one that I tried was
I would try it if it wasn't going to take and waste 6 months of my life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. That's why I was so. That's why my reaction. I was so delighted when I got it. But the other one I tried on an English table was where I did the same thing, but I did it off. I got it off 3 jaws. So I got it off the first corner.
It's still probably easier on an English table.
But it was actually easier. The plan was to get it to pot a ball over the middle pocket. And I was there for an hour, and I actually got it to about that far away from potting the ball, like on the kind of.
I've never seen it this way either. If you make it to the middle, that's the first time I see it as well.
Yeah, but I was like that far away.
That's dedication, man. I thought I was stupid, but this is next level.
The thing is like, I don't know if you have this, but I have this thing where I go, that's impossible, but I think I can do it. I have this like thing about me where I go. It excites me, and it's fearful, it's exciting. I go, it's impossible. I go, I'm going to be the one that does it. Do you have the same feeling?
That's my favorite thing, basically. Yeah, that's my favorite thing. And that's why I love to create new stuff, because doing shots that everybody's done before, it never did anything to me. Like, it's like the tournament stuff, it's fine, whatever, so be it.
Yeah.
But that's the excitement is from there. It's like breaking a border, what I mean? Like, it's just going over something that nobody's ever done before. I mean, it's human nature, right? You just try to be something that but this one is sick. I think she's gonna be hard to beat as far as I mean, this is one that should go viral on TikTok, not the other BS when it's fake.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is not fake, actually. So
yeah, the thing is like when you get it, like that feeling that you get. I don't know if you have that, or something that you go, that's probably not possible. I'll keep trying it, and you'll land it, and just like that is a buzz that you just can't explain to people, isn't it?
I've had a few. I don't know if you've seen my series Virtual versus Real, when I got people to send me shots from the video game 8-Ball Pool. And they're kids, sending me insane stuff that makes no common sense, no sense at all. And I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my God, and then it goes and I start. Yeah. And I'm like, how close am I, right? And sometimes they're just impossible. But when you get that shot that looks completely nuts, that no normal pool player would ever thought about it, because it just doesn't happen in real life. Then you get it, you're like, oh my God, this is sick, So those are cool. It's sort of the same. It's sort of the same thing, but I'm kind of glad nobody submitted that shot you just did in the video game, because I would have had to try it. And I'll be like, no.
How do we enter this into some kind of thing so we can get that going viral, get people trying it?
Well, actually, have you seen my? I have sort of a similar thing, but much easier.
Right.
Pocket points in the side pockets, pocket point in side pocket, and then goes down. So it goes.
Oh no,
It
I've seen you do.
goes,
I've seen you do a shot from like.
here, here, there.
I've seen that one. I did that on an 8-ball table, but it's a lot harder on
Yeah.
an American pool table. A lot
Yeah, that
harder.
one's pretty tough, but I still think yours is harder. The double corner, I think it's harder because side pockets is easier to aim as far as I know. You know what I
I
mean?
did try that one, and it's like it's so random what happens reaction from the middle point that it can just like fly off. There's about that much difference in like range where it goes. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same for yours.
Yeah,
They're just
it's
the
true.
same bastard shots there.
Yeah,
so.
they are. Yeah, they are. I've had this one shot in mind, and the problem is like I can't really do it in the club because the club they put up with me in the
Oh,
club because I do jump shots in the club, and every time the ball hits the floor, they're like, John. I'm like, fuck, you know. they know what I'm doing. Basically, I'm smashing up the
Hey,
club.
honestly, if you want to take trick shot to the next level, you need your own table.
I need my own
and
table.
you need to be able to beat it up. There's no.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a bunch of cool stuff. You know, it can push you pretty far, but after a point, you gotta have your own table. There's no quite shortcuts there. You know, that's why I need it, and you know, that's why my house is basically a mini pool at this point because you know I can't beat up table anywhere else. So. And you know, after a while, I was like, okay, my trick shot table is so beat up, I can't play pool anymore, which pissed me off because I'm a decent player, but I can't play pool because my table's got sand traps there, and you go the balls like.
Yeah.
So then I bought a pool table to play pool, and I also have a carom table now. So, but yeah.
There we go.
I have no TV room in my house. That's it.
No TV room. Yeah. So you need like a table to play pool on, another one to beat the hell out of, and then basically. Yep. Okay, Uncle Rob, who owns the studio, we need you to sort that out here if you can. I mean, there's one in the club that when they kind of go out the room, I try this one if I can. And when I've got three tables like next to each other, I try a hopscotch shot, and I've got very close, and I did about 10 before they came back in the room, where I bounced it off a rail jump shot, hopscotch onto the next table, and then bounced onto the next table. And
I've made it already.
Have you done that already?
I've made it in somewhere in Newfoundland, Canada, somewhere.
Oh, you've done it.
I was like, can you do this? I was like, yeah, I can. You know, what's funny is that ball was flying so hard at the third thing. It was like probably enough momentum to go to 4/4 if you can move the tables.
Do you think it's possible with 4?
I think so. You got to be able to move the distance though, right? Because you go to a pool room, they're set in a certain way, and that's what you got to deal with, right? But once you can move them, if you had 4 tables that you can move and just somebody move them to your liking and separate the distance the right way, oh yeah, that would be.
Could you know what? When it came off the third one, it did come off with a lot of pace, and it looks as though it could make another table. It did.
Okay, I gotta send you a link right now, and I'm gonna send it to you. It's a multi-table. It's another one of those weird video.
Yeah.
That never got viral.
Right.
But that I absolutely love. I don't know why. So I'm gonna put it in there in the chat box here. It's called Insane Multi-Table Trick Shot. A little intro, sponsor love here.
Nice.
Part of the problem, actually, we're short on footage, so we had to do a little different intro.
Oh, I see. You do it. What the hell? Oh, you do it off that
trampoline. Yeah, so you see that this is cool. For example, right? There's so much power to the ball.
Yeah.
What else do we got? Yeah, this one is really cool as well. You know, moonshots. So I call it.
Oh yeah, wow, that's great.
Tables. Yeah, see that's a 3-table whatever railroad basically. See it bounce there onto the cues and back down.
Yeah, that's nice.
Again, you know, simple 3-table. This is pretty cool as well. It's probably the easy shot to the. But hey, you know, this is sick actually. My favorite of all time. One of my favorite of all time. This is pretty cool too as well. There's a few in there. They're really nuts. Like
you got trouble.
Like they're really up there, favorite of all time type thing.
These are badass. These are really badass.
Yeah, little. I mean, distance-wise, you know, this is pretty far, so obviously. But yeah, there's a lot more to be done. You know, like this kind of stuff, for example. See, you could probably add a 4-stable. This one's cool as well.
Oh yeah. Did you ever hit her? How many times did you hit her?
She's used to it.
She's used to it. On the classic one through the legs as well.
Yeah, like this is pretty cool as well. Like we knew that was, you know, possible. Like there's a bunch of really cool
Yeah.
shot that unfortunately didn't get viral. And sometimes, it's funny, the viral videos are not the one you think will do. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, we could have done better production wise, but actually we couldn't really do any better because we didn't have time. But if you had a more budget and move to a couple more, a full more days, more lighting, could do
Yeah.
some cool stuff. But like, some of them are stupid, insane. Actually, it's hard to believe everything was made in 5 hours. To be honest with you.
Oh, is it all in 5 hours? Every single shot?
All in 5 hours?
No
yeah.
way. Oh, here's
look at
one.
the
Look at this
distance here.
distance here. 4. Did 4 there.
Yeah,
Bloody
and
hell.
see, like you probably had more room to get an extra fifth table in there as well. But you got to move so many tables, and we're rushing
Yeah.
on everything. So
Oh, yeah.
it's unfortunate we we couldn't do any more. But yeah, that was my multi-table take. That's sort of what you're talking about.
I did the jump rail, if you know what I mean, like the bank
Yep.
jump rail, and I hopscotched it onto the third one. But it's also hard to like get it to land on the ball, or like you have to land it on the rail to like kill the.
Yeah, the problem is to land those balls, right? It's to there's so much momentum to it
Yeah.
that you either need an extra table or whatever, or you just need to land it very precisely, which gets tricky. So
That's the tricky thing. Which is like similar to the one that I did on the English table. Like, I had to land it perfectly on the rail in the club. And and also I didn't want to do it too many times because like they go like, John, fuck off, like.
that was the funny thing. I sort of had the same problem there. They're like, man, those are tournament tables. You don't fuck it up too bad.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna try my best. They're not too happy with a couple table, got a few dents here and there. But that's the thing. Like it's the nature of the beast with trick shots. You don't have much of a choice. It's it takes some blood and tears.
Yeah, I mean they've got to like you got to take the rough with the smooth. It's smooth. If you want like these incredible shots, you're gonna have to like crack a few eggs basically to make an omelet.
That's where my nickname comes from. Actually, that's all it is. So,
What Venom comes from?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the first time I came to the U.S., pretty much I started to really not knowing what I was doing and putting dents and stuff and holes and like you're poison for the table, and that's the whole started actually. Yeah.
So they were saying, like
it's
poison.
Good, so Venom's good.
Okay. That's fun. I was going to ask you where your name came from. Actually, I just thought it meant just because you were
it's
like.
It's not like I was a Spider-Man fan or nothing. No. It's just because it's translation from poison, basically, to make it.
That's the reason.
Because I was going to poison all those years. You know what I mean?
Could have been poison. I think Venom's better, definitely. Because I was going to say like.
There we go.
I was going to say like, what's the trick to coming up with a good name? I'll put that out there to my friends.
Somebody's got to give it to you, I think.
Somebody's got to give it
to you.
Yeah.
Always got to come from somewhere,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yours is going to be related to that double corner. But I don't think it's PG-13. But the titty man is probably no good.
People used to call me people used to joke when I used to DJ. People used to call my DJ name was King Cooper. And after a while, for some reason, it became Cup of Soup. Cup of Soup Cooper. I don't know how I feel about that one now, but
no, that's probably no good for pool. I don't know. We got to find you a pool nickname.
We need to. Well, I've got the sharpshooter Cooper or the producer Cooper. That's my friend's one. He gave me those. But
sharpshooter's already taken by a guy that I know of, at least. Too classic, anyway.
Yeah, it's too classic.
Different, so.
Something different, yeah. Maybe the return of the cup of soup. I don't know. But that's going to be out there. If anyone wants to come up with a trick shot name for me, please send that in.
Put it in the comments.
Put in the comments. Florian, thanks, man, for coming on. This is like the debut Break and Run podcast. We've got some big visions with this show, this whole channel. So, thanks for coming on. Also, thanks for like supporting me, even just like on social media and stuff. Like, it means a lot to me that you even just like comment on some of my stuff, and it's just to come from you as well. It's like it's a big inspiration, and it's actually what's kept me going as well. Like when I do something, knowing that you can see it, and like maybe I'll send it to some other people. It kind of. It's because I think part of it is the trick shot, but it's also part of it. You want to see like the reaction as well. I think that's also part of the buzz, the exhibitionism.
Well, I think there's a few different things that comes into play, and obviously as a trick shot guy, you got to follow other people, see what they do too. But I do like the style that you have as far as it's a more, like say the creation part of it is a lot better. I don't really care too much for people who redo the same stuff over and over, old classic stuff, whatever. I'll give a like whenever I scroll through, but. Yeah, when you come up with new stuff and like a different style, I think it's very cool because I think it's the essence of trick shots. I mean, as cool as it is to recreate somebody's shot, it's just recreating somebody's shots, but when you actually do, you come up with your own stuff, and it's different. I mean, this is where I think it's awesome. And you know, trick shots got that interesting thing. It's in between an art and a sport, right? It's obviously a sport, but at the same time, it's an art form because you got to express something, you got to create something different. And I always keep saying to people, it's like a white canvas, blank page, and you got to create, you know, artwork on it. And you know, if you just copy what somebody else do, you just, you know, it's copying. But if you're creating, now you're a real artist, and that's, you know, trick shot artist. That's what it stands for, and that's what I love about it. So.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, artist is like being individual, and it's like you don't want to be a photocopy. You want to be an original. That's like part of the artistry.
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've never fit as a copy like that anyway, and you're probably the same. So it's just what it is, you know, it's different personalities. But yeah, if I have any advice for people, is you're going into the sport like this, and if you do like trick shots, you know, obviously you got to learn the old shots, but the way it worked for me is that, you know, I learned all the old shots, and after years, like, man, I knew all those trick shots from the last 60 years, you know, stupid, let me do my own thing. And that's how it worked out. So.
Yeah. And for anyone that doesn't know about Venom's channel, do you want to just quickly plug all your stuff and also any sponsors or anything like that?
So, well, yes, obviously the channels, I think it's on Instagram is @VenomTrickShots. Not my most active one. On Facebook, probably my most active, it's @VenomTrickShotOfficial. And on YouTube, it's just @VenomTrickShots as well. I do have a TikTok in the process to start, but again, man, it's tough. It's a lot of things. I think it's going to be Venom Trickshot Official too, or Venom Trickshot something as well. And yeah, other than that, you know, I mean, as usual, you know, happy that I do have people supporting my vision, and have been supporting my vision, you know, Klaus, Simonis. And actually, this could be as well for plug-in for people who get into the sport and want to know what I use as material goes. Klaus, Simonis 860, you can't beat it. Balls, Aramis balls, can't beat it. I mean, whatever people say, you know, it's been in business for so long that they are by far the better ones. What I say, Q-Tech, no question asked there. I mean, it's it's been going, they've been existing for a while, but, you know, recently they really upped their quality, and it's basically the best cues you can find for the price. And, you know, I went from, you know, Mez, which is a very good brand, but very expensive cues, to now Q-Tech, who's doing, you know, sort of more on a budget. And I mean, I play with a $250 cue right now. Can you believe that, right? And it still works. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing. What else? Obviously, Kamui tips, chalk. I mean, can go, you know, if you guys are curious, I'm using Kamui tip black super soft. That's all I've ever been using, except for a few specialist shots we needed something harder. But super soft will grip the ball more. And as far as the chalk goes, I'm using right now the 121, but I'll come up with I'll tell you a little secret here. We are going to come up with a Venom trickshot chalk in a few months. So we'll see if I can send you a sample when it comes out. But it's specifically designed for extreme shots, basically.
Perfect. Extreme shots for extreme people.
Yeah, and then I think, who am I forgetting? Pool Dog online and Pool Table just switched from Rasen to Ilix. Still waiting on the table, but again, because of the COVID issues, delayed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then of course the Able Pool by Miniclip is kind of a side thing, but it's pretty cool. We've been doing a lot of collabs as far as video goes, so that's pretty cool.
Sweet, man. Yeah, got it all in. Brilliant. Yeah, Florian, thank you, man, for coming on. It means a lot. You know, you're a top dude and a real inspiration, complete badass. If you haven't checked his stuff out, please check it out. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing, because it's like he's the top trick shot artist on the internet, not just, you know, not just on YouTube.
It's been going up for a while, so yeah, you might have been living in a cave if you're playing pool and haven't seen me. But hey,
exactly.
It happens. It still happens to this day.
It still happens from day to day. And we still see Florian in the audience from time to time in the, you know, when you're watching pool matches like the Mosconica, you'll see people go, is that Florian is that Florian in the crowd at 17:23? You know,
I do love myself a bunch of Mosconica matches, but unfortunately it's not in Vegas this year, so I won't be able to be in the UK. I might, you know, if it comes back to Vegas next year, I'm definitely gonna be here. But you know, it's a cool thing. You know, it's the coolest event of the year. So
exactly, and hopefully I'll be able to get in this year. I'm gonna ask.
You're probably gonna be there, right?
I'm gonna try and be there. Yeah. And hopefully interview some players if I can. That's the idea.
Tell you what, most people in the pool world is really cool, and I think part of it is because we're not like superstar, right? And I mean, as much as some of those guys feel like they are, we really aren't. We're just normal people trying to make a living, and I think that's the difference, you know, between soccer or basketball, whatever. You know, when the top level, it's like everybody's still pretty cool, most of them at least.
Yeah, so maybe there's a chance I can do that. But okay, so that's Break and Run. That's the first Break and Run podcast. Thanks for everyone for watching. Please smash that like button. Please smash that subscribe button, and we can continue to bring the fun back into pool. And we can bring on some more guests like Florian as well. So thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks Florian, and we'll see you in the next show. Cheers.